Hey, I'm back. Today was a great day. Got some cleaning done, stuff like that. Also, um, Clara came to me and she was crying a lot and she kept rubbing her nose and sneezing. And I couldn't see anything in it, but then she sneezed for 5 minutes and she sneezed out a battleship peg. So that was very eventful. And I'm glad she seems better now. So social isolation's going really well for us. Um, This is the plant of the day. This is my orchid. I have a few orchids. I got this one at Smith's from the dying plants table. Just kidding. I call it the dying plants table, but really, it's just where they put stuff that either didn't sell or sometimes it is dying. This one wasn't dying so much. It was a little bit wilty and it was losing its blossoms because it wasn't blooming anymore. And once it's not blooming, they don't really want it there, but you can get a sweet deal if you get a not blooming orchid. You get it a lot cheaper. So I bought it when it was not blooming. I brought it home and I have since repotted it fairly recently. I didn't have another pot, so I just cut off the bottom of a juice thing, drilled some holes in it, and that's my potting medium, or my potting pot. And then the medium is actually bark in this one and wood chips with a little bit of moss moss, mulch, whatever on top to retain moisture. Looking a little dry. We should probably water this guy. But anyway, orchids are great. I like them. This one is really beautiful. It had a lot of flowers on it last year for a long time. And so I move it to a more public part of the house. And then when it's not blooming and it doesn't have anything on and it's working on the roots and more leaves, then I just put it down by my fireplace and it likes it there in the dark with the little bit of a draft coming in. So I've got two of them down there being buddies right now. This one's actually getting ready. I don't know if you can see this right now, but it's getting ready to send out a spike here. So I'm excited. That's pretty good. Oh, I don't know. Maybe this is Lola? I don't know why. For the book of the day, we're going to go with Frankenstein. And, you know the book movie thing, where the movies are not hardly ever as good as the books. Frankenstein movies aren't even at all like the book. You probably were aware of that, but, I first read this in high school, and particularly at that point in my life, I was very caught up in who we as humans are and what we do, how we treat people. And so, spoiler alert, this is a monster book, but the real monster is not Frankenstein's monster. We are all Frankenstein's monster. I take issue with the idea that Frankenstein is just a big, scary green monster with bolts in his neck. He's a lot more intelligent, and he tries so much harder to be a part of society and is rejected by people, and it's really sad, and it made me think as a high schooler. I mean, it was in high school. We're all kind of in that atmosphere. It's not very receptive to people who are different, so it really resonated with me. As soon as I got the chance, I found a copy at the DI and put it on my bookshelf. So yeah, go ahead and read it. It's not scary. It's not horrific necessarily. It is impressive, though, that Mary Shelley, I think she was 14 or 15, and they were just telling stories. Like, they just had a contest to see who could come up with the best horror story off the top of their head, and she was like, I got this. And she certainly did. So, anyway, Mary Shelley, Frankenstein, read it so that you can think about how you're treating people. So, The song that I'm going to play for you today is Beethoven's Pathetique. It's his Sonata in C minor, Opus 13, and it's the second movement. I really love the Pathetique. It's one of my favorite. I've learned all of the movements, not as well as I can. I need to get back in and practice it better. So you may get to hear more of it. But for now, we'll just do the second movement. One of the things that I love so much about Beethoven is that he captures such feeling in his music. And so I hope that's my goal, obviously, every time I play, but particularly when I play Beethoven, I try and feel what he has put in there. There's a quote from Doctor Who that says something to the effect of, in reference to Van Gogh, he felt pain, but he transformed it into beauty. And it's easier to feel pain and to make more pain, but he felt pain and turned it into beauty. And I think that happened with Beethoven. He was, as far as we can tell, he was kind of a loner. He didn't do well with people. And he was pretty depressed. A lot of the people that he loved did not or could not love him back. And then, of course, he started losing his hearing at 30. I told one of my students, I was like, he lost his hearing very young. And I said at 30, he was not able to hear. He started to lose his hearing. And they looked at me and they said, that's not very young. And I said, shut your mouth, it is. So, anyway, he was living a hard life, and rather than, he probably spread the pain around a little bit, I don't know, I didn't know him personally, but he was also able to use that pain to write some very beautiful music. So, this is Beethoven's Pathetique. Movement 2. Can't quite, there we go, maybe that's good. Alright. that was Beethoven's Pathetique, second movement, and I will see you tomorrow.